Because, when you're married to somebody as famous as Ronnie, it's all about him. A couple of years ago, we were in the car and they were giggling at the back, and I said, "What are you guys giggling about?" And they said, "Gran, have you ever done any drugs?" I said, "Yes, of course I have." My son left home because he couldn't stand the word organic anymore.
Our podcast would not be possible without our wonderful sponsors, Absolute Collagen. It's a simple daily supplement that stimulates your body's natural collagen production, improving skin from within, and their clinical trials speak for themselves. So if you're curious, try the Absolute Collagen commitment and see what it does for you. Hello and welcome to Second Act, the podcast and community for women in midlife who refuse to fade into the background. I'm your host, Ateh Jewel, and I'll be speaking to celebrity guests about the moment they knew they were in their second act, and now how they're changing the game in the next one. Our guest today is model and entrepreneur Jo Wood. She lived a rock and roll lifestyle in her first act when she was married to her ex-Rolling Stone musician Ronnie Wood. But after being misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease, the mother of four completely overhauled her life and discovered a love of health and wellness. So welcome to Second Act, Jo Wood. Jo Wood, thank you so much for coming on Second Act with Hello. You know I'm obsessed with you.
No, it was so nice for you to invite me.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming. So I'd love you to summarise your first act in 3 words. What was the first part of your life, your first act like?
What, so you want like 3 words that, okay.
Yeah.
Modelling, marriage, music.
Ooh, 3 M's. I love that. Can you expand a little bit on that? So I love that. Yes, so you were a model, back in the day. That's how you started out.
16.
16, yeah. Tell me about that.
Loved it. I was obsessed with being a model. All I wanted to do, couldn't think of anything else, was I loved Twiggy with a passion. Yeah. And my father told me modelling is another name for prostitution.
Oh, my God.
But that didn't put me off.
Different times.
So I joined my first agency at 16. It was Gavin Robinson.
Oh, wow.
On Old Bond Street. And I worked until I met my... I met my first husband at 17. Wow. We married at 18 in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Had Jamie at 19 and left him at 20.
You were a baby, Jo.
I know I was a baby. It's what my mum said.
You were a baby, but I think, I married my first boyfriend. I think so many of us did, especially I was a good Catholic girl. I don't know.
Me, Catholic too.
There's a theme here.
Yeah.
I tell my daughters, please do try before you buy, but, but don't make...
I tried before I bought, but I went and,
Yeah, live it, learn it.
Yeah, and Peter, he's no longer with us, but he was Jewish, and I remember at school saying, "Please, sister, can a Catholic girl marry a Jewish boy?" And she said, "Absolutely no." So I went ahead and married a Jewish guy.
I love that, Jo, because like the nonsense that we were brought up with and the anti-Semitism, it's like, it never made sense to me. I was like, but was it Jesus Jewish? Like, I don't get, it never made sense to me.
He had to be, didn't he?
But you have always danced to the beat of your own drum, which I love.
Yeah.
And tell me about marriage. So you had your first marriage, your second marriage.
Then I went back modelling again and loved it, had some great times. And then I met Ronnie. At 22. So
a baby yet again.
I felt by this time that I was really grown up.
Yeah. But you were 22, which is really young,
So, and then had Leah at 23. And then off I went on tour for the next 30 years.
Oh, my goodness. So your life was just... Was it very rock and roll? Because I know you, and you're the coolest of the cool girls. But how... But, how rock and roll was it?
Oh...
Quite.
Completely rock and roll. We didn't sleep.
Oh my God.
I didn't really sleep well for the first 10 years.
You just had a good...
Stayed up all night.
Just having
with
fun.
a little help.
Yeah. And what about your... And so music, are you very musical? Or is it...
Well, that was the great thing. I went to the studio when I first met Ronnie, and they were about to start recording Some Girls. Yeah. And I didn't really have any idea about music. But I stayed in the studio every night listening,
Yeah.
and I learnt so much. I can hear every instrument played on every song now. You know, you just learn. You can hear the guitar come in, you can hear bass, you can hear drums. You know, I just learnt because I listened and listened and listened, because I couldn't understand what they were saying at first when they said, okay, let's take the bass out of that and let's do that. And I thought, what the hell? So I learned, and I once said to Mick, how do you do a song? How do you write a song, Mick? And he said, I take it as far away from the music without it being disconnected.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that you put the top line over the music. I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. But so music became very much a big part of my life, of course.
Yeah.
Listen to it every single day without fail.
Yeah.
And, you know, when the kids were crying, I took them out of the room because the music was always on.
Yeah, yeah. It's so fascinating.
Yeah.
If you were to give yourself a report card for the first act, what would it say?
Do you know, I don't know.
I mean, were you good at, like, what did they say at school? What was your report like at school?
She didn't concentrate. She looks out the window. She's always daydreaming. That's what it said.
Well, now we'd say, thank you very much, I'm a creative, and that's fabulous. But then they didn't understand it, did they?
No.
Yeah. So what are the lessons you think you've come away from your first act? What do you think you've learnt from that first bit of your...
Well, it taught me really, I suppose, because I was so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Taught me to be healthy.
That's
So, and, you know, I used to eat rubbish and I used to drink lots and lots.
Yeah.
Now, if I have like one drink, that's a lot for me.
It's so funny. So
My body doesn't like it anymore.
Yeah, I think health is a big thing.
Yeah, health. And of course I was ill in the 90s, and
What were you ill with?
I was misdiagnosed with Crohn's.
Oh, yeah.
Were put on steroids
Oh, that's the worst.
for 2 years.
Ugh.
And then I did an article in the Express, I think, and then I got all these letters from people with Crohn's, and then I sat on the floor and I opened and read them all because they sent them all to me.
Yeah.
And one of the letters was this erratic writing, and this guy said, Joe, if you come and see me, I will put your Crohn's into remission for life.
That's a big claim.
Yeah, I'm a herbalist.
Ooh.
So I zoomed down there and I went to Hastings, arrived at his house, and it said Shangri-La in this little bungalow. And I went in and it was full of pots and pestles and mortars, and he sat me down and he said, what do you eat? Ooh. I said, what do I eat? He said, yeah, I want to know what you eat every day. So I told him, and he started to tell me about GMO food. He started to tell me about pesticides, chemicals, what they do, how they break down the natural immune system. And he put me on a detox diet, which I'd never even heard of before. And he took me straight off my steroids. I did that for 4 months. And after 4 months, I was feeling so great.
Wow.
I suddenly got ill.
Yeah.
They took me into hospital. They opened me up and found I had a perforated appendix, and the doctor said, it's amazing you're alive. I'd been to Japan, I'd been on tour everywhere. He said, it's amazing you're alive.
Because that would have killed you.
Yeah. So I
What do you
laid
think kept you alive? Do you think it was having that good diet and
because it cleared out my system, and then they could see what was wrong with me.
He saved your life, really.
Yeah. So I laid in bed and I thought, from this day onwards, I am going to be an organic girl. And I am.
Oh, I love that, Joe. So like a switch, you just went bloop.
Yeah. My son left home because he couldn't stand the word organic anymore.
So it drove your baby away.
Yeah.
What, he wanted some Mackie D's or something?
I'm getting out of this house. I can't stand the word organic.
Oh my God. So did you go
So I
fully...
became completely obsessed.
You're like...
And then Keith turned round to me and he said, the trouble with you, darling, is you're addicted to organic food. I said, Keith, coming from you, that's insane. What an insane thing to say.
There's worse things to be addicted to than some pureed, like fresh vegetables. I think that's not a bad thing.
So that really changed my life. That really changed my life.
So I love that. So from rock and roll and not eating well and sort of not taking care of yourself and living a very fast lifestyle to completely slowing down, organic.
Yeah. And I must give myself credit because I went into the Rolling Stones group and I just went on and on and on and on about it. Patty is Keith's wife's organic now.
Yeah.
And Mick is very aware of what he eats.
Oh, he's he a health fanatic now as well, or
Yeah.
So I think you started that revolution.
Yeah, I did, without doubt.
So what does the term second act mean to you?
Well, to me personally, I suppose it's when I became single.
Yeah.
And I had to then stand on my own 2 feet.
Divorce is quite a big line in the sand for so
Yeah.
many people. I think me too, hands up, where it's like you have the first part of your life and then very
The kids
clear.
and the this and that and the other. I feel fortunate that my kids had all grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old were they when everything kicked off, and if you are comfortable to chat about it?
Let me see. How old's Leah now? 46. So she must have been 30.
Okay, so grown up.
Yeah, so they were grown up.
Still devastating.
Yeah. But, that's life. I did my time with him.
Interesting turn of face.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I should
Get less
take...
for murder.
Yeah,
You did
right. We had our time together.
Yes.
That's a better way of phrasing it. And we
had-
had a great time.
Yeah.
And then I think my time sort of went differently. Our time, when I became so health obsessed, because he just wanted to carry on partying.
Oh, do you think that was a turning point in your relationship?
I'm pretty sure, because
Yeah.
he didn't like it that I wasn't there all night. Come on, let's have another bottle of Jack.
Yeah.
And I was over that.
You know what? You change. It's like the parting of the Red
Yeah.
Sea. You know.
I thought that I would be able to change him
Yeah.
to more my way,
Yeah.
but he wasn't ready for that.
And he didn't want it,
He didn't
and it's nothing you can do. And so he.
So we had great innings. I was with him over 30 years,
Crazy.
from 1977 to 2008.
That's a
And
lifetime
so,
for John.
because I'd never looked after myself.
Because you very traditionally, you went from your mama's house to a man's house to another man's house. So
And
have you ever had that? I'm a single girl, Sex and the City, rolling around
I
experience.
had that for about 18 months before I met Ronnie.
Oh wow! So only 18.
Me and my mate Susan Harrison.
Shout out Susan Harrison.
Yes, Sue!
So
we had fun, in that 18 months, and that was it.
And then, so you, how old were you when you got divorced?
20.
And the second time?
2011, I was 50 something.
Wow.
54, something like that.
So for you, that was definitely the start of I'm in a new era, second act.
Yeah,
What am I going to do?
2009, I think, I went on a pilgrimage to Tibet
Oh, I love that. I would have come with you.
with Sadhguru,
Ooh.
mystic master.
Amazing.
And he was the one that really sort of said, what was then is gone.
Yeah.
You don't know what's coming ahead.
Yeah.
We've only got now. And I thought, oh, yeah, we only have this day right here, right now, at this moment.
Being present.
Yeah, being present. And that trip into Tibet was wonderful. And then I got back from that and did Strictly.
Which I'm obsessed with.
Yes. Come on, you've got to do it.
I am campaigning hard, Joe. I want to do Strictly. I want to cha-cha. I want to twirl. And I know for you, the Strictly experience is where I think everyone fell in love with you. National treasure time. But what did it mean for you? Was it a real, like a marker of your second act that people got to see you're Joe Wood, not Ronnie Wood's ex-wife or wife?
I remember being at the petrol station, filling up the car, and some guys in a van open the window and say, "Hey Joe, we'll be watching you on Saturday night." I went, oh my God, they're talking to me.
Oh, was that wonderful?
It was great.
Oh, because did you feel seen for the first time?
Yes, because when you're married to somebody as famous as Ronnie, it's all about him.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind that at all. But for me to step back out was a big thing. And to learn how to look after myself, to pay bills, which I never did before.
Admin, yeah.
Yeah, I hate it.
I hate it too.
I hate it.
I've got the ADHDs and it's really difficult for me to stay on top of all of that. And I think a lot of people, it can get weaponized, and it's very easy to kind of hand that over to somebody.
Yeah, it was great to I just didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then I had to do it myself.
But that's where power comes from. And how
Yeah.
do you handle that? How do you handle being a grown-up by yourself for the first time? It's the first time for me being a grown-up at 47 by myself, and it's really, it's challenging.
Yeah, it was very challenging for me at first, but now it's a piece of cake.
Yeah. And are you proud of yourself, would you say?
Yeah. I mean, I'm very unorganised. I still can't do it properly, but I do manage to get round to paying my bills and sorting things out, even though I don't do it when I was supposed to have paid my council tax by now, and I still haven't.
I know, we've all, yeah. It's
I just can't bear the thought of having to hand it over.
It's executive function. It's like a proper thing. Time blindness, executive function. Have you been diagnosed? Do you think you've got the ADHD or anything like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Not sure. Would it matter anyway?
No, it doesn't matter. I don't. If I had, I know that I am a bit dyslexic. I mean, when I'm writing, I'll write words back to front sometimes and things like that.
Yeah, me too.
But that's it.
Yeah, never diagnosed at school. It's so funny, isn't it? Different times.
Yeah, different times. I was just at school. I was just a bit behind.
Yeah, and they didn't support you in the way they do now.
No.
And it does affect your self-confidence, I think. So I think so many women are being diagnosed and learning about themselves and learning new skills. What would you say to women in their second act, having to grown up for the first time? What advice would you give to them?
Just go out there and live each day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have anything else, do we? You have to live our best life each day.
Yeah. And was it hard to walk away from, because you're not only walking away from a marriage, but from a lifestyle, from a machine that took care of you. Was that hard?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the hardest thing, actually. And I remember when the lawyer said to me, just remember, Jo, your life will never be the same. I thought...
Your lawyer said that to you?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very supportive.
I thought, in what way?
Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, maybe she meant you're going to have a great time now. Because then, after that, I went a bit mad. I went out clubbing. I met Michael Evans. We went out to Mahiki every night. He'd sit me at the top table in this big throne chair. I had all the young boys around me.
Sounds delicious.
And we would dance. It was just great. And then one day I looked at myself and I thought, Jo, are you insane? They're all in their 20s and you sit there like a queen at the top table. You can't be going. And my daughter wrote to me and she said, Mum, isn't it about time you stayed at home a bit more?
Why are daughters devastating like that? It's like, no, mummy's having fun being feral.
I said, what do you want me to do? Stay home and knit all day?
Literally. Yeah, it's
anyway,
so funny.
I'd calm down.
Well, I've got 13-year-old twin daughters, and they'll say something like, oh, someone snapped me today. And I'm like, oh, I got something off Rhea too. I feel like I've gone back in time and been a teenager.
My kids treat me like my son checks on me in the evening. You home, Mum, and who are you with? Ooh. I'm not with anybody.
That's hilarious. Yeah. But you're beautiful, you're vivacious, and you are living your best life.
In my little house.
Yeah.
On my little off-grid house. Yes. And that's the other thing. If I had a man, he would go and get the logs, help me with my solar panels, cleaning them, and do all that sort of thing. I have to do all that myself.
And you're proud of yourself, yeah. I think it's nice to be with someone as a sprinkle on top, but knowing that you don't need anyone, I think that's where the power comes.
Yeah, I think it's good to know that I can do it all myself.
Yeah, and you probably didn't know that growing, younger.
No.
Because you didn't.
Not at all.
No, it's incredible. Is it important to have an apology from an ex-partner when moving on from a divorce?
Yes, I'd say yes.
Did you get one?
No.
Whoa.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's really difficult. It's when you ask for accountability, and I think so many of us are in that situation and you don't get it, and I think millions of people are met with gaslighting or no accountability or no facts or answers. How do you deal with that?
Forgiveness. Absolute forgiveness. That's one of the things that I learnt right at the beginning, that it's really important to forgive.
What does forgiveness mean to you?
Forgiveness means, well, if you don't forgive, you keep yourself attached to them emotionally.
Yeah.
So when you forgive somebody, you break that attachment, and you say, I forgive you. You know, my dad was also quite a tough man, a strict father.
Yeah.
And I also forgave him at that same time.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny. I think your relationship with your father often impacts the partners you pick.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing that. It's like it's the same cloth, and there is forgiveness of my dad and my ex-husband as well. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
So to heal, you have to let go and forgive.
You have to let go. I think it's really important. Otherwise, you don't carry on your life in a happy place.
Yeah. And even if that person is still kind of like you're dealing with consequences, how do you detach from that? Because that's difficult.
I think by living your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so many people need to hear that. Thank you, Jo.
I went on holiday. I was on holiday last week at this place called the Albany.
Nice.
And they came to me on the second day I was there and said, Jo, we have something to tell you. I said, what's that? He said, your ex-husband's arriving tomorrow.
Are you joking? Are you joking?
I said, is he?
Oh, you
They
can't
said,
make it up.
I said, will you be all right? I said, of course I'm all right with that.
Oh, my God.
I was fine, but he looked at me when he saw me, he went, I can't believe you're here too. Hi!
Hiya! I think that's, being fabulous, living your life.
Yes.
Was he with someone?
He's with his wife.
Oh.
She wasn't happy. You could tell in her face.
That is hilarious. You can't make it up.
And he's with the twins as well. But I'm good. Hey, it's been a long time since we've been divorced. You know, 2011 is a long time.
Water under the bridge, and also you're very calm.
But he didn't want me there, I'm sure.
Yeah. But you living your best life, being fabulous.
There first.
Exactly. You can go if you like, but I'm here with my mates having a nice time. How funny. I was going to say, is it hard when someone that you once married to gets a new partner, or you rock up on the same hotel as them? Is it difficult to see that? Or how do you deal with that?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. He's got a new life.
Yeah.
With Sally, she seems fine. I don't really know her.
Yeah.
And the twins are adorable.
So she didn't make it a point to get to know you?
I have tried to get to know her.
Yeah. Did you know that from our mid-20s, our bodies make less collagen? And of course, menopause accelerates the whole process so that by the age of 55, most women have lost about half of their natural collagen in their skin. What the hell? Collagen is something that I've been looking into for some time, and it's so reassuring to find a brand just like Absolute Collagen who've done all the hard work and research for me. It's a simple daily supplement that stimulates your body's natural collagen production, improving skin from within. You helped raise Jesse, who's going through a divorce himself. How are you supporting him through this time? Because you know what it feels like.
I've just been talking to him. He's doing very well, actually.
Yeah.
He's doing really well. He's got a new girlfriend.
Good for you. Yeah.
I'm meeting her on the weekend.
Oh, that's sweet.
So he's doing great.
Yeah, and that's good. And you need your family, you need your support system.
Yeah.
And
we're all around him. He's
Yeah.
going to stay Leah lives just near me, my daughter. So he's going there with the kids at the weekend. And so I'll see him and the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it will be fine. It will be fine.
Yeah.
And a new girlfriend, that's exciting.
Yeah, he's such a handsome... I said to him, it's not going to take you long, Jess. You're a handsome dude.
Yeah.
And boomf.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
You cast something for him. Mummy will fix it.
Yeah. So he's doing really well.
Oh, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
We touched upon it a little bit, but what are some of the misconceptions of dating in later life? What does second act dating mean for you? And I'm taking notes because I'm back on the streets.
Well, it's different now.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in my 20s, for the little amount of time I was single, it was all about meeting people. Now everything sort of happens online, and it's just different.
The interaction, like the internet wasn't invented the last time I was dating.
Yeah.
And it is so weird how everything's digital, you don't meet and you can have chitty chats and people have so many options, swipe. It's a different thing, but what was it like for you when you started dating again? Did you find you were attracting different people? For me, the amount of 24-year-old personal trainers is quite alarming. And I'm like, please, you know, I'm not a paedophile. Please leave me alone. But it, like, for you, like, what was it like?
First, I was dating people that I had met.
Yeah, in your circle.
Yeah. And then I tried online, and I went out with a couple of really nice guys. Just
Did it freak them
work.
out? Did it freak them out dating you? Like, they're like, oh, Joe Wood.
You see, I don't know. I went out with somebody not so long ago, and he sort of handed me the newspaper when I got in the car, and he said, page 5. And I turned to page 5. There was a picture of Ronnie. And I said, yeah? And he goes, it's Ronnie. I said, yeah? What do you want me to do about it? And I went, that was just too much.
It's you can't be dating
People
fans.
are fascinated. And I think once they get to know me, they know I'm just a normal woman.
Yes, and date me, date Joe Wood, the woman who's
don't
fantastic.
worry about what happened in my past life.
And also, probably the comparison. Don't compete, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
It's not easy. I'm not dating at the moment. I'm living out in the country, and all my friends are saying, you should be in London, you should be out, you know, and I just can't be bothered to, actually.
We both love being in the countryside.
Yeah.
I like bouncing in between, but I feel so peaceful, and it's so
do
healing. I find
Yeah.
it really healing to be in the countryside. Do you find it?
Yeah, I love it. I love waking up and hearing the birds outside, and really early in the morning I hear ducks go as they go over the pond, you know.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so nice, and it's so calming. And
I completely agree. I moved to the countryside in 2018. That was the beginning of my healing, where I'd given myself type 2 diabetes. I was burnt out, I was fed up, and I was like, I'm out of here. And just to slow down and be in nature was really the beginning of probably the beginning of my second act, where I was starting to heal my body, my nervous system, and just appreciating nature and lovely connections with people. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It was all tied up with nature, I think.
yeah, I go outside every day and barefoot, no matter what the weather is, to ground myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, or I lay on the grass if it's dry.
Did you learn that from your mum?
No.
Oh.
I learnt that from, I think Sadhguru told me that you must ground yourself.
Literally.
Because we wear rubber on our shoes, it stops us being connected with the earth's energy.
It's literally, we are nature, and I think we are so disconnected. I think that's where a lot of illness and sadness comes from, not being back in nature.
To ground yourself is very important.
Yeah, and you do that every day. Amazing. So I know your lovely granddaughter Maggie. She's gorgeous and fabulous, and she wants to be a model. What advice do you give her?
To stop wearing those bloody eyelashes that she's wearing. She's so beautiful without them. And yesterday, I was with her yesterday because came into London yesterday to get her a prom dress.
Oh,
She's sitting there, there are these things sticking out of her eyes. She's beautiful without them.
Has she got massive fluffy ones? Because they're like...
They're just long and...
Yeah.
And the nails. I said, Mags, you don't need that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm naked without it, Gran.
It's so funny. You know, the younger you are, when you literally need nothing, is when you go OTT. Like, I never, like, you know, the matte makeup, the this, when you need nothing. And then the older you get and you realise...
You need loads.
Yeah.
Like me.
But, no, but it's so interesting that, like, my girls...
You see, my daughter doesn't particularly like makeup.
Oh, interesting.
But I've always liked makeup. From the first time I put some mascara on my eyelashes at 14, it was like, woohoo.
You're a beauty girl, aren't you?
Yeah. And so I always love makeup. And Maggie is just like me.
That's so
she
funny.
loves makeup.
Oh, so she's a beauty girl.
So it sort of skipped.
It skipped. You know what? My mum wasn't that bothered by makeup and skincare and things like that. And then I'm a beauty junkie. And my girls growing up, like they're 13 now, they were like, Mum, why when they were younger? But now they kind of clocked they're beauty girls. So it's so funny. But maybe sometimes you reject what your mum does. Is that because it's your mum?
Yeah.
Funny. But, well, watch this space. Has she been signed with anybody? Is she going to?
No, she wants to go to college first.
Yeah.
So, and at 18, she's going to do something.
Good for her.
I said, just do it sort of, you know, in between. She's studying photography and philosophy.
Oh, wow. She's a clever thing.
She's a clever thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, she can do both. You can do both.
Yeah, do that modelling bit here, bit there.
Yeah.
A little bit pocket money.
Oh, sweet. So, Joe, you're 70 now. You look incredible. You are incredible.
I can't believe that sounds so scary.
It's so, like, I think everyone has a spiritual age. My spiritual age is 19. What's your spiritual age?
I'd say 30. I was really cool at 30.
So 30's like, yes,
Yeah.
What did your 60s mean to you?
It meant freedom. It meant independence.
Yeah.
It meant empowerment, really.
That's everything.
Yeah.
That's what you get from second act, like
Yeah.
when you do it right.
Yeah.
Were you excited to turn 70?
No, not at all. I hated it.
Really?
Absolutely hated it.
Because it just sounds scary?
I said to my kids, no birthday cards with that number on it.
Really?
I said, and I don't want no cake with 70 candles. I said, I just want it over and done with. I just don't want to do anything, really.
Oh my, did you celebrate or do anything?
We went to dinner. Family went to dinner. I had all my grandkids.
Oh, that's like...
So that was really nice.
That's literally the treasure of life, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, having your family around you. I was going to say, how important is family in your second act? And do you have regular get-togethers?
Yes. In fact, my family, I feel I'm closer to my children and my grandchildren than if I had been married.
I agree with that. I feel
And
that.
I'm very close to my grandkids.
Could you expand on that? Because I completely relate to that. But what does that mean to you?
When I was married, it was always all about my husband.
Mm-hmm. He was the centre of the universe.
Centre of everything. And as a single woman, my kids and grandkids are my everything.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I think...
And we're really close, all of them. You know, they call me Gangster Granny.
Oh my God, I love that! Because, if I was in a spot of bother, I'd call you at 3 a.m.
Maggie and Kobe, a couple of years ago, we were in the car and they were giggling at the back, and I said, what are you guys giggling about? And they said, Gran, have you ever done any drugs? I said, yes, of course I have. And they said, you're going to be Gangster Granny from now on.
That is hilarious. You don't even hide it. I love that.
Well, they can look in anything and see if I lie, can't they? I'd
can
rather
Google.
tell the truth than lie.
I love
But I
that.
said to them, it didn't do me any good.
Oh, I love that.
And I gave them a little preaching lesson about the bad things that can happen if you go off taking drugs. I said I was lucky. I was in a circle
You were
where we had best quality.
Yeah.
And I was very lucky, and everybody was around to look after us.
Yeah.
But I said you can't. You know, it's very important. I said if I could do it again, I don't think I would do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
But everybody around me was doing it, so it was hard. I didn't do any really weird stuff.
Yeah, you just did. Yeah.
Just puffing and marching powder, but that's it.
God bless you, Joe, for your honesty. Thank you. But I think that's so beautiful, and also using it as a teachable moment. It's like, I'm not going to lie and be like, oh,
Yeah,
but like...
I can't lie because I know that if I lie, they can do their research and say, why did she lie?
Yeah, and you have so much more trust and integrity and honesty.
Then they'll be able to come to me if they have any problems.
You know what? I think that's the best parenting, having an open door. I always knew I could say anything to my mum, and I think that really keeps your children safe.
My kids all can come to me and have done.
Yeah.
And I'm able to go to them and say, hey, cut down on your drinking, or, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Open door conversation. Do you think that's really important with your family?
Yeah. Really important.
It's everything. I was going to say, what would you do differently in your second act compared to your first act, and vice versa?
Nothing. I think that my first act made me the woman I am today.
Yeah, you have to go through it.
You have to do it. I've got no regrets, and it made me a better person, and it made me who I am today.
I love that, because when you can be like, I'm in the trenches of divorce, and you can get really bitter and angry, and you can be like, ah! But you have to just own all of it. And like, you wouldn't be who you are, you wouldn't be where you were, you wouldn't have your kids if you just like, you know, so you have to own it all.
Yeah, you have to own it all, and you cannot have any regrets. You know, if you have regrets, they sort of, you don't want to end up bitter.
Yeah.
You want to end up, that was a great, we all have lessons in life, our own lessons, and we all have to learn by them and become better people.
I think that's so powerful. You are literally the poster child of post-divorce second act energy, which I channel. And every time I get a bit like, I think, what would Joe do? What would Joe do? Don't get angry. Don't fire off that email at 2 a.m. What would Joe do?
Don't
what would
do
Joe
that.
do? No.
Wait, think about it and look at the next day.
Yeah, and just be calm and try and detach yourself.
Because it's better for you, stress levels, to just... Hey, you know, and learn by everything.
So it's a learning.
Yeah, it's a real learning.
And
when you get over it in a good way,
Yeah.
you become a better person.
Yeah, so it's a lesson. Thank you for the gift of nonsense, because it's making me a better person. Thank you.
But you are a wonderful person.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm trying my best. But what has been your biggest learning since starting your second act?
I know I'm a good person. That's what I realise. I'm a good person.
Yeah. And for you to know it and see it.
Yeah, I know I'm a good person.
Yeah. Well, that's a really powerful thing.
Yeah.
And to that positive self-talk. I think so many of us don't have that.
And I should learn to. And my big thing is I always say, yeah, all right, I'll do that. Yeah, all right, I'll do that. Yes, kids, you can come over when I don't want them to come over. You know, I've got to learn more to say no.
Yeah, but it's the disease to please, they call it.
Yeah,
and
I am a people pleaser.
Me too. But I think we were all brought up. There's a generation of women. We were brought up to be pleasing.
Yeah.
And to say yes, don't say no. And that the man in your life is literally the rock star, the quarterback, the captain, and you are the support act. And I think my biggest lesson is like, no, I'm the rock star, you're the rock star. We're the main act. You know, that's been my lesson.
Yeah.
Interesting. If you can share some advice about your second act to your younger self and our listeners, what would it be?
I suppose it has to go down to health. Because I was unhealthy when I was younger. But I do believe as you get older is when you start to take care of your health more. And lots of people don't take care of their health more as they get older, when in fact that's the time to take care of yourself.
That's so interesting. So second act should be all about switching up your health.
Yes, absolutely.
And taking care of it. Do you exercise? Like, you eat beautifully and you're happy and you're with positive people, which is all healthcare. But what else do you do that you think is really healthy?
I haven't exercised in 2 weeks because whilst I was away, at Fran's party, I was drinking a really good tequila.
Nice.
And dancing in heels, tripped over and hurt my knee.
You had a dance injury. I have. Oh, well, you know what? That sounds
So I've
hilarious.
got doctors next week to have a look at my knee.
That sounds like good times. What did you do? I once hurt my knee. I was showing off. I was doing a high kick to Britney Spears' I'm a Slave to You. Bookshelf fell on it, popped out my knee, and that was in my 20s. Slapped it back in. Couldn't be bothered to go to the doctors. And it has never healed right. So I say I have a dance injury.
I've definitely got a dance injury. It's
so we both have dance injury. But taking, again, in my 20s, I would, now I would have gone straight to the doctors, had physio, had an x-ray, but I had such little, such a lack of self-love. I was like, I'll be all right, smacked it back in, lived my life.
I think you do, though, don't you? You just don't...
That's 20s energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember not eating for days and waking up shaking.
Because of the modelling pressure, or because you just couldn't be bothered, or you were just living a fast life?
I've been out for 3 days.
So just like
drinking and partying.
And food was like, ugh, you didn't even think about it.
And then I thought, I think I better eat something.
Before I collapse. Just different times, isn't it funny? And the thing is, your body can take a battering for so long.
Only when you're young, and then when you get older, it's totally different. I can't do what I did anymore.
No. And is sleep important to you? Do you sleep well?
Yeah, I have really good sleep. I don't take any medication or anything like that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because I'm such an organic girl.
But your skin is glowing. The whites of your eye are glowing. That's how you can tell if you're healthy. And is that all food? And tell me about Joe, Wood's Organics, and tell me about, because you are really a beauty person. Tell me about how holistically that has woven into your life and your brand.
Yeah, well, it all stemmed from me going from when I got ill, and then I started researching food and then my brother gave me a book called The Fragrant Pharmacy, and in it, and before that, I read a book called What's in Your Makeup. Horrified.
Yeah.
And then my brother gave me that book, and then I started making up my own little potions in the bathroom, and then my friend said, why don't you do it properly? Yeah. So I went to see Jo Farley, who was is a friend of mine, and she sent me to Colette Hayden, who's a formulator, and we created Jo Wood Organics.
Amazing. And it's beautiful. You've got body oils, which I love, and fragrances.
Body oils, fragrances. I used to have the most fantastic salt scrub.
Yeah.
But I need to do that again. But I need to sort of really sit down and make a plan and all that.
So that's important. Beauty is important to you.
Yeah, it's really important. I want to do a young girls range because of Maggie and the stuff she puts on her skin.
Like skincare wise.
Just terrible, full of chemicals.
Yeah.
And the perfume. There needs to be an alternative for young girls to...
Simple,
pure, but works well.
Well, Ola and Adana, they'll roll up. They'll model for you. They're 13. They're that Gen Alpha age.
Yeah.
And it is that thing where you get concerned because their messaging is so wild at the moment for what they should... Like when you hear 13-year-olds wanting to put retinol on their face and you're like, nope.
Don't do it. But they do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what that glue on Maggie's eyelashes are going to do to her eyes.
Yeah, it's so... Yeah, you just have to
don't know, do you?
You have to be knowledgeable and aware. Talk to me about your new book, please, Jo, which I am gagging to read. Literally gagging.
Well... it sort of came about when I went on a date with some guy, and he started telling me about how he split up with his wife.
Ooh.
And I walked out of that date and I thought, God, that would be a good start to a book. Oh. And it kind of stayed with me, and I just wanted to have that the start of a book. Anyway, my friend was going to help me write it, and then he didn't, and so I thought, I'll just write notes.
Yeah.
And I thought, who's going to write it for me?
Yeah.
And then I was doing Pilates with Christy, and she said, why don't you write it yourself, Jo?
Oh, I
said, because I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
But I carried on doing my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
Just on my phone.
I love that, though.
I did over 50,000 words on my notes.
Melt your notes.
And my son-in-law goes, Jo. I said, Jack, I've done over 50,000 words on my... Oh, no, I didn't know how many I'd done.
Yeah.
I said, Jack, I wonder how many words... How can I find out how many words I've done on my phone? Yeah. He said, you're telling me you've written a book on your notes on your phone?
I love that.
I said, yeah. He said, come on, let's put it into Word on the laptop.
Format, yeah.
And he did it all. It all sort of went into, like,
I love that.
Pages, you know.
You're like, oh, it's a proper book.
I said, oh, my God, this is great. So then I found it really quite easy to work with.
Yeah, after you got it off the notes app. Yeah. But to be fair,
and then
I
saw, oh my God, I've done 50,000 words.
That's a book.
And then I told Lizzie Cundy. Anyway, so it's a story of
it's a novel.
It's a novel. It's all fiction, and it's a story of a woman in her 50s who finds out her husband's been having an affair.
Autobiographical, perhaps?
No, it's different. She's different from me.
Okay.
She's different from me.
Yes.
Flo, I can see her. I became her friend whilst I was writing the book.
That's when you know it's a hit.
I knew what she looked like. She's got this beautiful chestnut hair. And anyway, she was married. She's married to an architect, and she finds out he's been having an affair for years.
Yeah.
And decides to, well, she gets brokenhearted, all the same stuff that women who have been through a breakup, we all know about.
Yeah.
And so somebody told me, if you write a good book, you need to have feeling for it, and need to know about.
She's your friend. What
you're writing, you know. And so because I have experienced that, I would find it easier to write. Yeah. Anyway, so then she gets herself together. She gets back into acting because she was an actress when she met her husband, and she starts dating.
And then it's her adventures of dating.
Her adventures of dating and her adventures of doing movies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. This is a Netflix film waiting to happen.
I don't know.
I can't wait. Who would play her? Who would play Flo?
Do you know who I like that? Amy Adams.
Yeah.
I think she would be. I was watching, what's his name? The Irish, what's his name?
Which one?
The guy that does talk show.
Graham Norton.
I was watching Graham Norton. She was on that, and I looked at her and went, gosh, that's Flo.
We are both witchy. We're going to manifest. Amy, we've got a juicy role for you.
Don't know if she'd do that. Some of the bits in there are a bit raunchy.
Oh, I think she's not a prudish. You'd get your bits and pieces out for art, wouldn't you, Amy Adams?
Anyway, she has great adventures, and
it sounds fun.
I really enjoyed doing it. It was great.
And that's coming soon.
Yeah, that's coming in June. But I really sort of, when it had all finished and I'd given it into the publisher, I went home and I sat there and I thought, what am I going to do now?
Book 2.
Flo's finished.
Book 2.
Flo's finished. I don't know what to do.
Did you go into a sort of mourning because you missed her?
So I drew her.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I drew her just to get her out of my system.
So you're super creative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love to draw.
So have you got an art book or anything like that?
No.
Oh,
I draw all my family's birthday cards.
Of
themselves.
Oh, so you do like caricatures of them?
Yeah, well, I just draw as near as I can to them.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and so they all save their. You see, that's one way to save the cards.
It's precious
because I draw them.
You draw them all. Oh, yeah. That's beautiful. I think that's another book.
Yeah,
Joe Wood art.
One of them says that doesn't look like me. I said it's a drawing.
It's impressionistic.
Yeah, it's a drawing.
It's a drawing. I've got one last question for you. You're talking about how you were mourning when you finished Flo, but how do you let go? How do you grieve in later life? Because I read this quote that all life is a series of gently letting go. Well, how do you do that with grace in your second act?
Well, I didn't do it with grace in my second act. I went out partying.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
I went out every night with Michael. And I just got it out of my system like that.
Yeah, and that's okay.
And then I calmed down.
Yeah.
And then and then I got into working.
Yeah. So grieving can take lots of different shapes. Go feral, go partying, do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But then you came back to grafting and work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think work was the thing. I think if I'm not busy, I hate it.
Yeah.
I love to be busy.
And do things and be purposeful.
Be creative as well.
Yeah.
That's really important to me.
Yeah. So, it's time for your second act where we read emails and voice notes sent in by you, my wonderful listeners. This one is from Sadie in Yorkshire, and she says, "Hi, Ateh and Joe, I'm Sadie, and I'm 68 years old and a divorcee. I was with my ex-husband for over 40 years, and while I know splitting up was the right thing to do, it's been really hard to come to terms with my new reality. Do you have any advice for me?" Oh, Sadie, we feel you, and I'm a 26-yearer getting divorced, and you were over 30 years, so we know what it's like to spend a lifetime with someone. What's your advice?
I would say to concentrate on yourself.
Yeah.
Really important. Do things like get back in the gym.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yeah, friends.
But concentrate on yourself. Do things that make you feel good.
And I think that's a big thing. You forget, because you're so used to being a team or catering to someone else's needs, I think you really forget, what do I like? What do I want? Who am I?
Yeah.
So that's really great advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that was it, yeah.
Focus on you. Fill your own cup. Do things that give you pleasure. That is a really good one. Yeah. And everything will be all right. And go partying. Get out your system.
Yeah. Go partying.
Go party, have a cocktail. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or thoughts about life in second act that you would like to ask myself or my guests to answer, please send us an email to secondactpod@hellomagazine.com. I can't wait to hear all about it. You can also find out more second act wisdom on Hello Magazine with the very best experts to guide you through your second act. Yeah. Joe, thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you on second act.
I love you.
Thank you.